is on the increase. Malaria cases are on the increase. Madam Speaker, I need your serious intervention. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Shiwangandu.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the matter of urgent public importance I'm raising is directed to the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. Madam Speaker, I'm raising this matter knowing full well that Zambia will be for the second time assuming the chairmanship of the SADC Troika organ on politics, defense, and security very soon. There is an immigration matter, Madam Speaker, which is posing a security threat to the SADC region. Last week, the Republic of South Africa, Ministry of Home Affairs, declined entry to 22 Afghan nationals who traveled from Zimbabwe, where they were hosted as tourists on tourist visas. They tried to cross into South Africa through Beitbridge, where they were detained and declined entry. And an NGO started making attempts to force the South African government to accept these nationals. However, the minister responsible for Home Affairs, Dr. Musoredi Aaron, has put his foot down that he wouldn't put the South African people at risk, because these people are believed to be pursued by the Talibans where they are coming from. They had gone to Pakistan, where they were pursued until they crossed into Africa. The unfortunate part, Madam Speaker, is that the information coming out of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of South Africa is giving information that these 22 arrived in Lusaka on 19th of this month aboard Emirates Airline. Madam Speaker, this is a very serious matter, and we would like the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security to give comfort to the Zambian citizens, because if South Africa, with the robust security infrastructure, can be scared to host these individuals, I don't know how Zambia can be comfortable to host these individuals without an established status. Madam Speaker, I seek your serious guidance.
The last one, Honorable Member for Chiengi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on matters of urgent importance, of public importance, and this is on the Minister of Defense. Madam Speaker, we have the ZNS tracks and ZAF tracks, defense tracks, ferrying maize from Chiengi to, I think, to Nchelenge. Madam Speaker, it has become a norm for these drivers harassing the people of Chiengi. 2 days ago on Friday, Madam Speaker, one motorist, can I call him a biker? Because there we use motorbikes, was beaten, was beaten to pulp. As if that was not enough, 9 hours Friday, when there was a truck coming from Kapako at Chitupi village, a young man's another one who rides a motorbike, was beaten by the truck of ZNS. The truck driver of ZNS truck was ferrying maize from Kapako to Chelenge, and as if that was not enough, he ran over even the motorbike of the young man, which was parked on the side of the road. Madam Speaker, I would like to seek the indulgence of the Minister of Defense, as this also almost happened to me when I was driving at night entering Chiengi. When these truck, ZNS, Air Force, and Zambia Army truck drivers are driving, they're very rough on the road. There's a time also at Kanwa village where they beat up the people of Kanwa village, including the headman, accusing them of sabotaging the bridge, which even the Minister of for Infrastructure was aware that we had been asking the government to fix. They've become a source of danger to the people of Chiengi. Madam Speaker, I would like to seek your indulgence and to see to it that the people who are supposed to protect the people of Chiengi do the right thing. I have pictures, unfortunately, I've not brought them to your office to show the incident of what happened on Friday, Friday last week at around 9 a.m. I seek your serious indulgence regarding this, Madam Speaker. The people of Chiengi, they need to be protected and not to be abused by these people who are collecting the maize. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's try to address these matters of urgent public importance that have been raised by the various honorable members, starting with the one by the honorable member for Chitambo, which is directed towards the Honorable Minister of Health and also the Honorable Minister of Mines. I see that both are not here, unless if there is an acting minister. So we cannot get any immediate reaction. So maybe the best will be Honorable Member for Chitambo put in a question, then it can be addressed by the ministers when they are here. You can put in a question. We go to the Honorable Member for Lunte. This is directed towards the Minister of Finance regarding the complaint by the PS of the Ministry of Sports, Youth and Arts, indicating that the funds or the budget has been depleted because of the floods. And they wanted the Honorable Minister to react to that and assure the people that the budget will not be depleted within just 2 months. We still have another 10 months to go. That one, Honorable Member for Lunte, please put in a question so that the Minister will be able to address that issue. Floods are affecting everyone. Every budget has to be revisited because of this. So maybe the Honorable Minister will have enough time to address that issue when you put in a question. The Honorable Member for Lubasenshi towards the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security concerning a student that was attacked and killed from Levi Mwanawasa Medical Hospital, medical school, university rather. So you would want to know why the Honorable Minister is not saying anything, is keeping quiet, and you are surprised. You would want to know what the Minister's view is. I don't know. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, do you have any immediate comment on that?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first and foremost, I would like to pay my condolences to the family of the bereaved student who died in circumstances that are not acceptable. Madam Speaker, I want to inform this House that this matter is under investigation. I would not be in a position to inform the House pertaining to the circumstances that led to his death. The only thing which I can state very categorically is the fact that the students marched in solidarity with the colleagues at Levi Patrick Mwanawasa University, something which would not have been allowed in the past regime. Tear gas would have been the order of the day during that incident. I just want to say that the student marched without obstructions from Zambia police. I would like to thank the police for the services rendered to the students in order not to obstruct them.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the matter is still under investigations, and it's better that we leave it as such so that we don't prejudice the investigations. The Honorable, yeah, but I think the underlying question there is the rising crime, which the Honorable members would like the Minister to address. Yes. Thank you. Let's make progress. The Honorable Member for Kwacha is directing his matter of urgent public importance to the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development regarding a bridge in Bulangirilo called Bulangirilo Waterworks Bridge, which is in a state of disrepair and is posing a risk to the welfare of the public, and there have been some deaths resulting from that bridge because there is no protective railing on the bridge. So maybe the Honorable Minister is here. Anything that you can say on this, Honorable Minister?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a Kitwe resident myself, I know the spot Honorable Member is talking about in Bulangiro Township, crossing across the Kafue River. Obviously, the ministry does not have eyes everywhere. We rely on the members of parliament to engage with us when there are spots like that, so that we can direct resources to attend to them. The Honorable Member for Kwacha really needs to engage. He has no fear of coming to my office like our colleagues that might be accused of wanting to defect. He is on our side, so he should feel comfortable to come and approach us so that we attend to that particular problem. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable Member for Kwacha, you are advised to visit the Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. Please, when you observe that there's a challenge in your constituents, don't sit back and wait until you raise a matter of urgent public importance. Take it upon yourself, be proactive, and approach the respective minister to attend and address your concerns. We go to the next one. This one from the Honorable Member for Bangweulu, concerning the trucks that are transporting maize and mealie meal that are not being allowed to go through Nkumbi, and they are being impounded, and is concerned that this will result in a shortage of mealie meal and a lot of other things. And where the trucks are parked, there is no sanitary facilities, sanitation facilities, and there is a danger of cholera and other diseases that are related to, which may arise due to the rain season. Honorable Member for Bangweru, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture is not here. I would advise that you put in a question which can be addressed by the Minister when he is in the House. We go to the next one, the Honorable Member for Lupososhi. This is directed towards the Honorable Minister of Health, concerning the resident doctors that have resolved to go on a strike starting tomorrow because they have not benefited from the salary increment that was announced for civil servants. I think that is also a matter that you can put in a question to the Honorable Minister, she can address it adequately when she is given that question. The Honorable Member for Shiwangandu, this is directed towards the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security concerning the 22 Afghan nationals who came through Emirates Airline. They were hosted in Zambia. When they were trying to exit Zambia to go to South Africa, they were not allowed because of certain considerations that the South African government had at the time that these people were trying to enter. Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, what is the status of this?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to state that Zambia is a very responsible member of the United Nations. We, as a member of the United Nations, we have obligations to the international community, and we have signed international treaties.
There is a point of order. Honorable Member for Lunte, what's the point of order directed at who?
That's a minute. Madam Speaker, the point of order is based on Standing Order number 136, and it's against the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. Madam Speaker, in line with this standing order, when you make a direction, Madam Speaker, it is clear what follows. What follows is that the Minister who has been directed by yourself to issue a statement will do so, and your honorable members will follow up with questions concerning that particular subject. Today, the honorable member of parliament for Shiwangandu raises a very important issue, which you direct the minister to make a comment about, and the minister duly tenders his ministerial statement on the matter. And members have not been allowed to ask him follow-up questions on account of, okay, let me finish, I'm on the floor. On account of...
Order, honorable members, let's make progress.
Absolutely, madam.
Let's, order, honorable member for Lunte. The honorable minister had just started talking about the issue. He had not even finished. So how can honorable members start asking questions? Huh? The earlier one was there are investigations that are ongoing, so we should not jeopardize. No. I've already ruled on that. Huh? Please don't attempt to distract proceedings. Eh? No. May the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs continue.
Madam Speaker, I'm shocked with the questions that are being posed by my learned colleague, not learned, the educated colleague. Madam Speaker, I was explaining that Zambia is a member of the United Nations, and we are party to a number of international instruments that protects the rights of individuals who are seeking asylum. Zambia being obligated to consider applications, we are considering those applications for asylum by those individuals whom it's alleged that they are being sought by the Afghanistans. These individuals, Madam Speaker, are in transit to South Africa. South Africa has not finalized consideration of their applications. Hence, their request to stay for a few days as they wait for their plight in South Africa. We have a responsibility as a nation to do that.
Order. So I will allow 5 questions. The Honorable Member for Shiwangandu asked the question.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, yes, indeed, we agree that Zambia is a member of the United Nations and party to so many conventions. However, this one is a very unique matter. We all know that United States was in Afghanistan, and when they pulled out, there were arrangements on how they were going to evacuate all those that were cooperating with the United States government so that they are not at risk from the Taliban. And they did those evacuations. Madam Speaker, I was saying these 22 moved from Afghanistan to Pakistan, where they were pursued, and there were casualties that were recorded there. And they came to Zimbabwe, where they were for about 30 days on visitor's permit. From there, they now attempted to get into South Africa. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, Madam Speaker, was on media throughout the whole week, last week, justifying why South Africa could not allow these 22 to enter South Africa. And they were saying, why didn't they move from Pakistan to go straight to the United States? Why should we start risking our people here in Zambia? Because of the conventions that we are part to as members of the United Nations. Madam Speaker, that is not justifiable. What law and what status have you accorded these 22 you are hosting and risking the people of Zambia for? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there is no risk whatsoever that is being posed to the people of Zambia. We, as a responsible government, do background check on applicants who apply to stay in Zambia, either as they are seeking refugee status or applying for any other status. We have a responsibility to check. My colleague, who is seated there, and who is the former Minister of Home Affairs, did consider a number of individuals, some of them whom we are now considering to be inimical to the interests of this country. But we are a responsible government.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for allowing me to ask the Minister of Home Affairs a follow-up question. Madam Speaker, picking the responses from the Minister of Home Affairs, I'm interested to find out, and I'm sure members of the public that are following this very important conversation would want to know, do we have the names of these 22? Do we have the record of who they are, which organization they represent? Do we have facts, details that could be provided today in terms of an update to the public? Because this is not a conversation for 156 members of parliament. Madam Speaker, I'm very curious personally to know which people are we discussing? Who are they? Where are they coming from? What issues are we discussing around these 22 people? I think it will be important that if the minister hasn't got that information, Madam Speaker, tomorrow is another day, the minister can come back, give us facts, because now I'm very curious. And I think the residents of Kamfinsa are equally curious. Who are these 22? What are the issues? I think it's a very important issue that has been raised that obviously the minister can respond to. I think for me, I would want that satisfaction to be provided. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I will not be an irresponsible Minister of Home Affairs to come to this House and to start disclosing the details of people who are seeking refuge in this country. Because if they are seeking refuge, they are running away from danger. And if they are running away from danger, it is incumbent upon me not to expose them. I will not do that.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Nalolo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you most sincerely, Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. Honorable Minister, as we sit here today and as we deliberate on this issue, What is the legal status of these people from? What are they? What legal status has the ministry given, and what has informed the ministry to give them that legal status? I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, they are seeking refuge, and all those who are seeking refuge in this country follow procedures, and those procedures are being considered by my ministry.
What's the point of order, Honorable Member for Shuangando?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on a point of order pursuant to Standing Order 65. Madam Speaker, I've had the privilege to serve the office my honorable colleague is serving. And I know the procedures that are followed when someone is seeking asylum. I give a genesis, Madam Speaker. There's no way people can be pedestrians in seeking for asylum. I did mention that from Pakistan, these people went to Zimbabwe.
Is
From
it
Zimbabwe,
order, Honorable Member for Shuang? Is that a point of order?
yeah, the
or
point
you are-
of order, Madam Speaker, is the Honorable Minister in order to mislead us and the whole nation by saying these people are seeking asylum, seeking asylum from his office in Zambia, when the actual fact, as he stated earlier on, is that they are trying to chance and see what South Africa would do in the court processes they've started. There is no such a provision, Madam Speaker. Is in order to mislead us here by saying these people have come to seek for asylum here. We know the conventions, Madam Speaker, that govern asylum seeking. We understand. And so, is the Honorable Minister in order to mislead us and the nation that these people are now seeking asylum from his office? I think it's a serious ruling.
Honorable Member for Shuangando, the person who is in charge for this matter that is under consideration is the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. Is the one who can give us the details of what is happening. I don't know if order. I don't know if the Honorable Member for Shuangando has got more details than what the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs has. Order, Honorable Members. Let's listen to what the official position is. Those other positions, we are not aware, because it's not coming from an official person representing the government. The person representing the government in this house is the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. Let's make progress. The next question, Honorable Member from Pika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, these 22 Afghanistans are alleged to have been workers for CIA when US had an operation in Afghanistan.
Honorable Member from Pika, do you have information to support that your allegation?
Madam Speaker, like I've said, they are alleged to have been.
No. We don't want to escalate and alarm the nation. Order. Honorable members, as we ask questions surrounding this matter, it's not our duty to alarm the nation. The nation is listening to what we are saying here. So let's ask responsible questions which will not alarm the nation. Honorable Member from Pika, ask a responsible question. You may proceed.
Madam Speaker, I wanted to take advantage of the minister's presence during this question for him to just clear the fears of the people out there. But I appreciate your guidance, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, may the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs tell the nation if the coming of these people into our nation will not anger the Taliban, who are the rulers in Afghanistan. Will these people are being pursued by the Taliban? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
That question is an assumption. We don't debate assumptions here. We debate facts. The next question, Honorable Member for Kanyama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity that you have given me. Madam Speaker, looking at the questions that are coming out from a number of members, it's like these members, they have got more intel than what the ministry has. It's like there's an inside information that is leaking to people who are not supposed to receive this information. Now, my question to the minister is, what is it that you are doing or we are going to do to ensure that information is kept within the ministry other than the way it is now? It's like we don't have the grip. So what is it that the ministry is doing to ensure that the system is cleaned of those that would leak information to people who are not supposed to receive it? I submit.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, as a ministry, we are aware that the facts which I've stated on the floor of this House are the facts that are correct. I'm aware that my colleagues are relying on social media and other information that is not verifiable. I will not hold anyone in my ministry responsible for the rumor mongering that is coming from my colleagues.
Thank you. Can we make progress? Honorable Member for Shuangandu, please, let's not make this as a... No, I've already closed. I gave 5 people to. We have other business. We have other business, Honorable Member. I've been very accommodating. No. The idea is this is not a time to respond to rumor. If and the honorable members, the whip, PF whip, really, is that a behavior which we expect from a whip? It's not acceptable. No. Just take your seat, honorable member. Can we make progress? The honorable member for Chienge has directed one to the Minister of Defense concerning trucks that are ferrying maize from Chienge by Zambia National Service, ZAF, and the Army, which are terrorizing people on the street. Honorable member for Chienge, please put in a question to the Minister of Defense. That concludes the matters of urgent public importance. Let's make progress. Question for oral answer under Standing Order 76. The honorable member for Chiruvi.
Question 171, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Agriculture, because I don't see the minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The question is to the Minister of Agriculture. It comes in 3 parts. Whether the government is aware that United Capital Fertilizer Company and the Export Trading Group, ETG, supplied substandard fertilizer, D-compound, and urea fertilizers, respectively, to the following areas: Samfya, Lunga, Lubansenshi, and Chiluvi. B of the same question is, if so, what urgent measures are being taken to ensure that the farmers do not lose their crop and avert hunger in the affected areas? C, whether the fertilizers were certified prior to importation. Madam Speaker, the response is as follows. To part A of the question, government contracted United Capital Fertilizers and Export Trading Group to supply compounds D and urea fertilizers in the above-mentioned districts in Luapula and northern provinces. The fertilizer supplied by the two companies was a high quality and met the standards as certified by Zambia Agricultural Research Institute, ZARI. You may wish to note that ETG is a highly reputable firm providing fertilizers in many parts of the world and has been operating in the country for over 10 years. While United Capital Fertilizers is a local manufacturer with state-of-the-art plant and laboratory which they use for quality assurance, both companies supplied fertilizers to more than the 5 mentioned districts. The crop failure that may have been observed is not a result of poor quality fertilizer, but could have been attributed to many factors. It is important to note that Luapula and northern provinces falls under Region 3, which receives above normal rainfall. Therefore, application of fertilizers should be properly timed, as it may therefore be affected by moisture levels in the soil. Too much rainfall may lead to leaching due to heavy or excessive rainfall that leads to washing away of fertilizer and other soil nutrients which are necessary for the health development of the crops. It is in this slide that the Ministry of Agriculture has been recommending the application of fertilizers, especially urea, in a phased manner, splitting application, to maintain the nutrients which usually get washed away with excessive rain. Part B of the question, Madam Speaker, the response is, government, in recognition of the climate change that may lead to crop failure, has included FISIP beneficiaries under Agricultural Weather Index insurance. Therefore, all the affected farmers who suffered loss due to leaching will be considered for payouts by insurance. The last part of the question, Part C, Madam Speaker, the response is, the government, through Zambia Agricultural Research Institute, ZARI, has been monitoring the quality of fertilizers imported into the country for FISIP at various ports of entry. In addition, ZARI has been testing and monitoring the fertilizer that was supplied to all the districts in the country, including the affected districts, that is Santhia, Lunga, Lubansenshi, and Chiluvi. Further, the laboratory analysis conducted by experts from ZARI indicate that the fertilizers conformed to the standards and met all the requirements for quality fertilizers in Zambia. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, if any. The Honorable Member for Chiluvi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wanted to find out, since the Minister said that all the fertilizers were subjected to testing or certification, and he has ruled out climatic conditions, as he stated that the areas mentioned fall under agroecological area zone number 3, which among other things I think he receives enough rainfall, and he attributed to reaching of the what. I wanted to find out from the Minister whether the bag labeled LICO fertilizer was also subjected to that particular certification, because the bag labeled LICO, in as far as ETG has been distributing fertilizer in that particular region, has not been one of those that have been distributed in the last 10 years. So I wanted to find out from the Minister whether the bag labeled LICO, which is granulated D compound, is one of those that were subjected to testing.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I just want to make one clarification, given the statement said by the Honorable Member saying we have ruled out climate change. In my statement, Madam Speaker, I was very clear to say it receives heavy rainfall. So it's not ruling out, Honorable Member, but admitting that heavy presence of rain could wash away the fertilizer. But responding quickly to his question, indeed, Honorable Member, all the fertilizers that come into the country, they are subjected to testing by ZARI. All fertilizers that are imported in the country, and this agency has been around for a very long time. And Madam Speaker, just to give comfort to the Honorable Member, our government has gone even an extra mile, not only in testing the quality of fertilizer, but using the Zambia Meteorology Agency to test the weight of each bag of fertilizer. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, I want to find out from the Minister, Acting Minister of Agriculture. In your response, you've informed the country that insurance covers any such effects, assuming that there are such effects in that region. Are you in a position, Acting Minister of Agriculture, to indicate to this House and obviously the public the value of the insurance that will cover such circumstances? I thank you.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before I even get to answer the question that the Honorable Member has ably asked, Madam Speaker, we want to state categorically here that it will be very important for members of the House, when they raise concerns, to provide the same concerns with scientific results that it is coming because of fertilizer quality or other things, as opposed to speculation. But my government, Madam Speaker, like we have announced, we will do an undertaking and due diligence of what is happening. Then we can give an announcement whether indeed they qualify for that insurance compensation or not. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Shuangandu.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I'm following the responses coming from the Acting Minister of Agriculture. The insurance that members were referring to is the insurance that was part of the FISP program, which was meant to deal with eventualities in terms of during a farming season. My question to the Honorable Minister, Madam Speaker, is to find out whether, since you have ruled out the quality of fertilizer as being the reason why there's crop failure in these areas that were cited in the question, have you dispatched your technical staff to go and ascertain the reasons why? Because you have just given a catalogue of reasons that could be a cause for the crop failure. Now that this crop failure might culminate into food security, have you dispatched a team of experts to go and ascertain the specific cause for that crop failure before you rule out the quality of fertilizer? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Agriculture.
Madam Speaker, it is the more reason why we are deeming to add this response in the question regarding FISIP and its insurance, because of the action the Ministry has taken to go to the respective areas and ascertain the cause of this crop failure that the Honorable Member raised. So at the right time, the Minister of Agriculture will inform the House. I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kabwe Central.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving me opportunity to ask a follow-up question to the Minister, Acting Minister for Agriculture. Minister, I just want to find out going forward. We have heard what transpired in our constituents' colleague, that there was crop failure. But of course, I want to believe that the soils differ. They are not uniform throughout the country. Some soils lack certain types of nutrients. And what I've seen, the scenario is that when we order fertilizer, we just order uniform with the different components of the nutrients. Maybe there's lack of checking which soils accept what kind of fertilizers. Going forward, so that we do not expect a certain same scenario, are you going to go in a route of testing the soils before we can assign the type of fertilizers to different places in Zambia? Thank you.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the Honorable Member for raising a very important question. Madam Speaker, indeed her concerns are very valid, and for a very long time we just apply the same kind of fertilizer to the all general soil composition. But going a step further, the new Dawn government has gone an extra mile to even start recruiting farming extension officers who will not only be sampling soil, but also advising farmers on what to plant in whichever region, at whatever time and period, so that we can overcome such challenges that our farmers year in, year out have continued to face. So to answer the question quickly, indeed, Madam Speaker, the government is even employing farming extension officers to overcome such challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chilubi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to ride on what the question that came from the Kawe Central Member of Parliament, since the Minister did indicate that possibly it could have been the interaction of the fertilizer with the soil. I think it's very important that we venture into what is scientific, as he said. One of the factors that is attributed to zone, agroecological zone 3 is the soil, in as far as it has got good rainfall, is acidic. And if the soil is acidic, would you confirm that the LICO, specifically, I'm coming back to the LICO fertilizer failed to interact with the acidic soil, leading to crop failure?
The Honorable Acting Minister of Agriculture.
Madam Speaker, like you guided earlier when there were matters of urgent public importance, we do not respond to assumptions. The Honorable Member has reason to assume that the soil was acidic. Madam Speaker, with your guidance, am I allowed to respond to a question on assumption? I submit.
No, we don't speculate here, so the order, Honorable Member for Chilubi. Honorable Member for Chilubi, actually, what you should have done, if you really wanted to raise this matter, and I had guided when we met that, please, can you have some information to support what you are saying? Right now, you are just speculating. You have not submitted any scientific report or analysis of what you are saying to support what you are saying. That's where the problem is. The Honorable Member for Chieng.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, in your response, you indicated that this could be, the reason is that Luapula and Northern are in, I'll call it Congo Basin, where we have heavy rainfall. And you also say that maybe it was the time that the farmers were applying this fertilizer. I would like just to find out from you, Acting Minister for Agriculture, is it because that the fertilizer reached these people late? Because this has never happened. So looking at what you say that it could be the period of application of this fertilizer, I take it is that it's because the fertilizer was delivered to these people late. So could it be the reason as to why this has happened? Because this is the first time it's happening. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
From what I'm hearing, that's also speculative. That question is speculative. So, you know, this question would have been dealt with thoroughly if we had supporting information to support what the honorable members are alleging. Otherwise, it's very difficult. We'll just be speculating. For that, let's make progress. Next question, the honorable member for Petauke Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the good people of Petauke to ask a follow-up question to the Minister of Agriculture.
Honorable member, you are on the next question. You are the one asking the question. What number?
It's a follow-up question.
Were you with us or you were still with the Atimutenguleni?
It's not on the. It's concerning. It's a Minister of Agriculture. Concerning the Minister of Agriculture. That's a question.
No. What question are you asking? Number of the question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the good people of Petauke this opportunity to ask a question to the minister. But my apology, Madam Speaker, because I had also placed on the previous
Okay,
question.
honorable member, you have the order paper with you. What question number are you asking?
172, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Actually, we are back from Nkwala, and greetings from the Ngoni people. Madam Speaker, the Member of Parliament for Petauke Central is asking the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation the following question. What urgent measures the government is taking to resolve the water crisis in Nyika Ward in Petauke Central Parliamentary Constituency to avert waterborne diseases and loss of lives? Madam Speaker, our response is as follows. Government is undertaking the following measures to resolve the water crisis in Nyika Ward of Petauke Central Constituency in Eastern Province as follows. 1. Under the capital component of the local government equalization grant, a mechanized borehole has been drilled at the showgrounds market to supply water to the market and surrounding community. Number 2, under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, government approved the establishment of a mean water scheme in Tasala compound that is currently under procurement. This water scheme is expected to be operational by end of June 2023. Madam Speaker, number 3, under CDF, 4 boreholes have been rehabilitated in Nyika Ward to further increase the supply of clean and safe drinking water to the residents. Number 4, Eastern Water and Sanitation Company is actively involved in the unblocking of water supply lines blocked with calcium in order to ensure continued supply of water to the residents in Nyika Ward. Number 5, Madam Speaker, I would like to inform members of this August House that Eastern Water and Sanitation Company has put in place water quality surveillance measures in Nyika Ward by conducting water sampling and testing in order to avert the outbreak or possible outbreak of waterborne diseases and loss of lives. Number 6, in conclusion, Madam Speaker, government is in the process of undertaking a feasibility study to improve the existing water supply system by migrating from the current groundwater source to surface water supply from the dam we have identified within Petauke Central called Lusowe Dam. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, Honorable Member for Petauke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the good people of Petauke this opportunity to ask a follow-up question to the Minister of Water. The Minister of Water, I'm sure you are aware that water is life. And in Petauke is amongst the district which is affected by cholera. And as we are speaking right now, there's an outbreak for diarrhea and also cholera. And we don't have water. Even these areas which you have just scored, it was an effort which we made under CDF. An effort which we made under CDF, but we submitted the budget to your ministry. You have been quiet from last year. And the good people of Nyika, they have been suffering, going through this challenge. And Minister, I know if it was an area where rich people are, I'm sure you would have responded. But since these are poor people, which you don't want to respond and give a solution, go to Tasala 1. Tasala 1, you haven't mentioned anything.
Order,
and I'm inviting you to come to...
Honorable Member for Petauke, ask your supplementary question. You are not debating. This is not a motion. You've asked a question, so ask supplementary questions. Don't debate. Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, before I go on, I'll ask also to ask all of us so that we can keep Zambia clean, to remove the cholera, because cholera is one of the issue here. The question to the Minister. Minister, are the poor people from Petauke Central constituency being considered to be given solution by you? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Water, Development and Sanitation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and indeed thank you for guiding the Member of Parliament for Petauke Central. Madam Speaker, this government is responsible in terms of supplying safe and clean water to both classes of our people, both the poor and the rich. This government is not here only for the upper class people, and I want to assure the Member of Parliament that measures which I've already highlighted have been put in place to ensure that the people of Nyika Ward, including the area he has just mentioned, Tasala Ward, they will be attended to in ensuring that they receive adequate water, but also clean and safe water for their consumption. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Bwana Mukubwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister of Water, for the intervention measures you are doing for the people of Nyika Ward in Petauke Central. Minister, maybe just highlight, since there's a procurement process happening, how much has been set aside in that procurement of water facilities for the people of Nyika, and probably how long it will take. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water, Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much, and I want to thank the Honorable Member of Parliament for Bwana Mukubwa for that question. Madam Speaker, I will have to check in terms of the cost, and I can rehearse with my colleague. I don't have the figures at the moment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Petauke Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister of Water, can you tell the good people of Petauke in Nyika Ward, when are they going to have water? Especially those, the poor ones, because today they don't have water. And they didn't even bath, some of them. So can you tell us, when are we going to bath and even have clean water to drink?
The Honorable Minister for Water, Development and Sanitation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I want to thank the Member of Parliament for Petauke Central. If he was attentive, I went through the series of interventions were put in place, and some of them have mentioned some time frames. There was one where we said around June some works will be done. Some of the long-term measures will be done within the course of 2023. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The last question, Honorable Member from Sanzala. Honorable Member for Petauke, you have exhausted your.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister, for those answers. My question is, on the calcium part of your answer, what scientific effect does that have to our people of Petauke Centre? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank my brother for that question. Madam Speaker, I don't have any known scientific effect on the people by calcium, except that as it builds up, it blocks the proper passage of water. So what that happens is that instead of people receiving the targeted amount of water, the water fails to flow. So this is very prominent in Petauke Central. That's why I've said that in the long term, we are trying to migrate from depending on the groundwater source, the current groundwater source, to go and bring water from around 12 kilometers at a dam called Lusowe. This will be the surface water source. And we think that with those measures in place after undertaking the feasibility study, we will deal with this problem of calcium, because from the water source we will not receive the calcium. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. We can make progress. Next question for oral answer. Understanding Order 74, the Honorable Member for Malole.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for according the good people of Malole to ask a question to the Minister of Infrastructure. Question number 173.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Malole, Mr. Kalim, is asking the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development 3 questions. A, why the construction of the following bridges in Malole parliamentary constituency have stalled? 1, Besuma along Kasama Isoka Road, and 2, Kavisha in Kavisha Ward. Question B, when each project will resume, and the question C, what the time frame for completion of each project is. Madam Speaker, we answer as follows. Question A, construction of Mbesuma Bridge along the Kasama to Isoka Road and the Kavisha Bridge in Kavisha Ward, Malole parliamentary constituency, have stalled due to funding challenges. B, the works on the 2 crossing points will resume once funds for the required works have been secured. And C, the time frames for completion of the construction of the Mbesuma Bridge is 18 months from the date of resuming, while the time frame for the completion of the construction of the Kavisha Bridge is 6 months from the date of commencement, subject to availability of funds. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, the Honorable Member for Malole.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I know he has answered the Besuma Road. There is also a bridge which we mentioned, Kavisha. I know the Minister will come back to this. Minister, don't be casual in us answering this question. Remember, when you are a member of parliament and you are chairman for park, you went there with a canoe. You crossed that road, and that you confirmed to me. You crossed that road using a canoe. Are you sure? The same question when funds are available. When are the funds going to be available? You went there to inspect when you're chairman of park as a member of parliament, and you crossed that road with a canoe. That is an economic road. Are we just going to be say when funds are available? When you cross that road with a canoe, can you assure the Zambian people and the people of Besuma and Marori
at large. That is an economic road. It's connecting Northern Province and Muchinga, for that matter. And agriculture is the key in Northern Province. Are we going to go just the way you cross that river with a canoe? We should continue crossing that road with a canoe. Minister, don't be casual. Assure the nation. Thank you very much.
The minister has crossed the river with a canoe 6 times. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure.
Madam Speaker, I think thank the minister, or he one day, maybe after 20 years, he'll be minister. But I still thank him for the follow-up question, and also the passion with which he has asked that particular question. And I use the answer to illustrate some of the wrong things that happens in our country, especially where public resources are misapplied on projects. Usually the people who suffer when public monies are misapplied on projects are our citizens who are meant to benefit from those projects. The Honorable Member from Malole is absolutely right. In 2007, when I was a member of this House and chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, I led the Public Accounts Committee then to inspect this particular bridge. 75% of the allocated money, of the budgeted money for the completion of that bridge had been paid. 75% had been paid. We pitched up after about 200 kilometers. We arrived, Honorable Kalima was part of that committee. We arrived on site, and the pontoon then was not working on that particular day. And that is why we crossed using a canoe. And since in the committee I was the only expert in terms of paddling canoes, I was the one who was paddling. The site, Madam Speaker, where 75% of the money on the project had already been certified by the then consultant as having been completed. We noticed on the bridge, not even a pillar had been constructed on that bridge. The only sign that something had happened were 2 small piles of river sand, not even professionally delivered, but somebody had just picked it from the river. Just 2 small piles. That was all. 2007. This was not under the just previous party, but the one before that. So you see that when public resources are abused, the people of that area, the people of Kasama, where this particular road would have provided a shortcut into Isoka and into places like Nakonde and so on, and Chinsali, rather than going all the way in those days, going back all the way through Mpika and so on. I think a lot of kilometers would have been cut. They did not benefit from that. Therefore, Madam Speaker, the honorable member is entitled to be passionate about this particular question, because 16 years later, 2007 to 2023, we are still talking about the same crossing point. The contract for the construction, this time round, for the Mbesuma Bridge along Kasama to Isoka Road in Malole Parliamentary constituency was awarded to Messrs. China Railways 7th Group Company Limited at a contract sum of 84,185,816 kwacha 99 ngwe. The works on the project have stalled since January 2020, with overall physical progress this time at 35%. So far, 27,746,137 kwacha at one ngwe has been certified for works undertaken on the project, out of which 10,676,857 kwacha 86 ngwe has been paid to the contractor. The Road Development Agency submitted a request for funds amounting to 3,939,000 kwacha, 930 kwacha 18 ngwe in April 2018 to construct the Kavisha Bridge, which he's asking about, through force account. The agency received partial funding in 2018 amounting to 1,208,000 kwacha, 1,578 kwacha, which enabled the construction of the reinforced concrete bases for the proposed structure. If you go on site, you'll find these concrete bases. The works have stalled after exhaustion of the released funds, with progress at 25% and the continuation of the same awaits receipt of more funds. An assurance to the honorable member is the New Dawn administration is committed to complete each and every project that has been started using public resources, because these projects, wherever they are meant to save our citizens. However, the perennial reason that we keep bringing to here of lack of funds will continue until such time as we are able to reposition this economy so that we are able to not only use our own funds, but also borrow to fund projects responsibly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. Honorable Member for Chisali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to find out from the Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, considering that this project was given quite a number of months before the beginning of 2020, and obviously the expiry of the contract was going to be somewhere around, I think, 2021. Hasn't this contract even expired, or has the contractor applied for renewal of this contract as we are waiting for the funds to be available? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much, and I thank the Honorable Member for Chinsali. This is, I think, almost without exception, all members of Parliament in this House have, representing constituencies, have projects that were uncompleted. These are the issues that my honorable colleague, the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, keeps talking about. In order to tide up our books, we are reviewing some contracts like this, not so that we can cancel the projects. I've said the projects will not be cancelled, but the contracts, so that we can start afresh, award the contracts when resources are available. So these are funded, and our contractors are paid as and when they produce the certified certificates. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Malole.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I appreciate the question which the Minister is answering, and the difficulties, the challenges we are having through. Madam Speaker, I want even to extend, if it is allowed, I would have showed. This is the bridge in Kavisha today, as I'm talking. I have shown the picture to the Minister. We even tried, here you are, Minister. Show the Minister. Go ahead and see. Yes. Yeah. Minister, that is Kavisha as we are talking, bridge, which is in Makasa. We are using sacks to pass there. Look at that. And always is when funds are available. When funds are available. Makasa has been cut completely. We even did to say, okay, well and good. Let's use the disaster, even just to mend up to today. The money for disaster, Madam Speaker, is not even considered to be disaster. Up to today, people are not crossing. Not even that CDF for disaster, just to try to mend the bridge. The people, we should not politicize. It's the lives of people we are talking about. It's the lives of people we are talking about. Changala Chiefdom is cut off completely. Let's forget even about the Mbesuma Road. Let's talk about Kabisha. Up to today, nothing. Bwana Minister, please, what measures can we put in place? Even just short measures, just temporal measures to make this road passable. We had fertilizer distribution. How were those people accessing fertilizer? Now we are going to have an harvest period time. How are people going to do the harvest? That is agriculture pro. Bwana Minister, prosperity is going to charge us. What are we going to do? I thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member for Malole. Prosperity, posterity, not prosperity. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure and Housing.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You know, if we induce politics in some of these matters, we become emotional. There is no politics in my answer. I'm disappointed that from 2007, the Suma Bridge has been a subject in this House, subject of Auditor General's reports, subject of Public Accounts Committee, and it still continues 16 years later. With respect to Kavisha Bridge, and I've seen the pictures, and before that he had shown me the pictures, this has been outstanding since April 2018. The figures I gave as to how much money was allocated to do it under force account, that means in-house account, has been stated. From 2018, the work has not been completed. We are looking at all these things to ensure that when we have resources, all of them get done. Time and again, I've stated on the floor of this House that if where we have a situation where a community is cut off or is likely to be cut off, then we are in a position either through the ministry or through the office of the Vice President to allocate resources. If the Honorable MP is saying that this year, this particular spot which he's showing me, but that has gotten worse, therefore cutting off people in Makasa area, well, let him approach the ministry. We'll send the regional manager there, just like we will do for the other sites where matters like that, for example, in Kwacha, where we can send our regional manager to go and carry out a quick assessment. Matters of that bridge, a number of members of parliament here have used CDF to construct some small bridges on small crossing points. And if I look at the picture there, that is a potential site for the use of CDF. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I believe we have exhausted this question. Let's make progress. Next question, the Honorable Member for Kalabo Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 174.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mr. Chingamute, MP, Kalabo Central Parliamentary Constituency, is asking the Minister of Energy 3 questions. A, when the construction of an oil pipeline between Zambia and Angola will commence? B, what is the estimated cost of the project is? C, where the oil refinery plant will be situated? Madam Speaker, the answer to A is the construction of the oil pipeline between Zambia and Angola will commence as soon as the feasibility study is conducted and financial close is reached. The pipeline
would transport finished petroleum products from Lobito refinery to the Lusaka area. Upon completion of the feasibility study and assuming that the findings of the study indicate that the project is viable, construction works shall begin, and these are expected to take between 3 to 4 years. The delay to conduct feasibility studies and reach financial closure has been caused due to the prolonged negotiations between Sanongo from Angola and Vasali Waliseri Resources from Zambia. The two parties have failed to agree on a shareholding structure for the project. On my recent trip to Angola, Madam Speaker, we agreed to restructure the project with my counterpart from Angola to expedite the implementation of the project. A team from Angola and Zambia is currently looking at a new project structure that will execute the Angola-Zambia petroleum pipeline project. Answer to question B. A desktop review has estimated that the project to cost at least $5 billion US. However, the actual cost will be determined upon completion of the feasibility study. The answer to question C is the oil refinery plant will be situated in Lobito, Angola. Madam Speaker, I'll give some additional information for the benefit of the Honorable Member of Parliament. The construction of the new Lobito refinery shall result in the production of 200,000 barrels of petroleum products per day and is expected to be completed in 2026. Based on recently developed feasibility study done by McKinsey and Company, the total cost of the refinery will be $4.1 billion. The Lobito refinery project currently sits on a land size of about 4,000 hectares, which has seen an investment of about $1 billion sunken cost that has been invested by Sanongo. The following works have been executed at the Lobito refinery site. 12 kilometers of road was constructed to reroute the existing road that connects Lobito to Hanla village, which stands at 100%. 24 kilometers of pipeline right of way for the transportation of water from the Biopio Dam, including the preparation of the pump station area. Only 11% has been done. Terracing the area for the construction of the refinery, utilities and tank farm stands at 87%. Internal access roads, including heavy haul road for the transportation of heavy refinery equipment, that one is complete. Marine terminal for the offloading of refinery equipment, as well as offloading and loading of crude and refined products, is done at 100%. Dredging of the Lobito Bay to 15-meter depth on low tide is already done. Engineering and equipment design stands at 100%. Lastly, it should be noted that government is considering investing in the Lobito refinery with a proposed 15% shareholding. Madam Speaker, submit.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Shuangandu.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I was following the responses from the Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, these discussions started a while ago, and the initial discussions were centered on modernizing Indian petroleum so that we could get a cracker there and then start a pipeline to move crude so that we could then benefit more through job creation and the value chain. and the byproducts that come out of the crude. Can you confirm, Madam, through the Speaker, whether now your policy as government will be to depend on finished products? Because you have made in Robito, where you propose to have a 15% interest. If indeed it's true that we are going to depend on finished products, Honorable Minister, how predictable is our economy going to be in the long run? Because finished products are unpredictable in terms of price adjustments, as it were. Can you share with us what the policy in the fuel subsector is going to be? Because the whole reason why we had that in then was for us to buy crude in bulk, so that by the time we are at least that period, prices could be stable for the finished products. And we had byproducts like heavy fuels for the mines and the dollar energy, where we were generating 120 megawatts as benefits of refining crude. Policy for the fuel subsector. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think that question is a bit mixed up. He's mixing Indeni and the Angola-Zambia pipeline. The promoters of this pipeline, operations of Indeni, it is a standalone project that is never and will never be connected to the operations of Indeni. I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chiengi. Sorry, there was the issue of the policy. The Honorable Minister of Energy. The Honorable Member for Chiengi wanted to know the government policy for the petroleum subsector. What's the government policy?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was concentrating on the question that was posed by the Honorable Member of Kalabo. However, we can issue a policy statement regarding the petroleum subsector. Madam Speaker, we have been offered 15% stake in the Angolan refinery. Indeni position is totally different from that of what we're trying to invest in. As he has mentioned that it needs an hydrocracker. The cost of the hydrocracker was estimated at $300 million. Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity and inform the nation that up to now, we are still grappling with the debt that we found, which was about September last year, was about over $600 million. We need to find the money to clear that debt so that we can start reinvesting our resources into other meaningful development. I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chiengi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, there was an article in one of the newspapers, it should be Diggers, if not Daily Nation, where there was a story of a shareholder withdrawing for this Lobito project. Would you kindly confirm or clear the air that there was no shareholder that has withdrawn from this project? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I did mention that the promoters called Vasali Valiseli Resource from Zambia could not reach agreement with the other promoter, which is Sanongo of Angola. As a result, Vasali Valiseli Resources have decided to go for the second option, which was the Namibia-Zambia pipeline. I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chifubu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, the project sounds very, very viable, considering the challenges the country is currently confronting in the petroleum sector. What are you doing as government to aid these negotiations to speed up the feasibility study so that this project can be actualized, so that economic benefits can start accruing to the Zambian people? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Chifubu. Madam Speaker, Sanongo have preferred to go to negotiation with IDC. Sanongo is a government entity, so they prefer to work with IDC, which is a Zambian entity, and negotiations will soon be entered into and progress will soon be made, I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kalabu is not asking, so maybe the neighbor who is helping. The Honorable Member for Sinazongo.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've indicated that the refinery will be in Angola. And I would like to find out whether the agreement that you signed or you intend to sign will just be for a pure be it petrol or diesel, or you go for the commingled byproducts you'll be getting. Because if you'll be getting, and the pipeline will just be getting purified fuels, what mode of transport are you going to use to move the byproducts such as bitumen, kerosene, HO4, and the likes? Because there is no connection between Zambia and Angola. There is no proper road network. Are you going to come up with a separate pipeline to courier these other byproducts? I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, this will be a multi-purpose pipeline, so it will be able to transport gas. So there could not only be one pipeline, there could be 3 or 4 lines on the same line. So everything will be ferried by pipeline to Lusaka. It could come in Kafiwe, or it could land in Chisamba area. I submit.
The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Thank you for your kindness once again, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was following the responses by the Minister of Energy in as far as this pipeline is concerned. And one of the things that he has informed us today is that until the feasibility study is done, that is when all these other things will take place. Madam Speaker, if there is no feasibility study, it means that there is no decision to proceed. So I want to find out from the Minister, maybe in very categorical terms, is this discussion even worth having if there are these challenges around the feasibility study, the promoter has put out? Is this conversation even worth discussing in terms of whether it will happen or not? Madam Speaker, I'm grateful.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's not a question of whether it will happen or not. Zambia is interested in ensuring that we get several sources of petroleum products. Some of it would be coming from Tanzania, some of it will be coming from Angola, some of it will be coming from Namibia. So this is one of the projects that this government is pushing hard to ensure that it is actualized. I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to ask a follow-up question to the Minister of Energy. You've just alluded that the promoter of this project, Liseli or something like that, Asali, yes, has got difficulties for business deal in terms of government 15% shareholding in Angola. My question is, since the feasibility study is still ongoing, it is prudent enough that the pipeline should terminate at Ndola Refinery, because Ndola Refinery has become an oil marketing company where we're receiving crude, where we are receiving finished products through Tazama pipeline and through the way to Ndola Refinery and distribution to all the places in the country. Why is it that you are proposing that the oil pipeline is going to terminate in Lusaka? This is my question. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Energy.
Madam Speaker, I don't want to sound a bit rude, but my fellow Chinese trained engineer should understand that we cannot do two refineries on the same product. This project will have a refinery in Angola, which will bring the products into Zambia, and there is no need for this pipeline to get to another refinery in Ndola. I submit.
Thank you. I think we are going round now. Let's make progress. Next question. The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 175.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Chama North, Honorable Yotam Chalo, wants to know and is asking the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development at A, whether government has any plans to procure motor vehicles to chiefs in Chama North parliamentary constituency, and if so, when the plans will be implemented. Madam Speaker, our response to question number 175 from the Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. Mtai Chalo, is that at A, government has no immediate plans to procure motor vehicles for chiefs in the Chama parliamentary constituency as a result of budgetary constraints. At B, in respect of the answer given in A, it therefore follows that B falls off. Madam Speaker, I wish to give slight more detail about this position, and is to say that currently there is a consideration to procure one vehicle for the Chief Kambombo, who suffered severe body injury as an exceptional case. And those plans have advanced, and that is the only consideration because of his current and unforeseen circumstances. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, I see none. Honorable Member for Chama North, you have a supplementary question.
Thank you, Minister, for that response. I just want to find out from the Minister whether there is any budget allocation for chiefs' motor vehicles in the 2023 national budget. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member, you asked a question about motorbikes. I don't know why we are jumping. That one about a motor vehicle is an exceptional consideration, so let's not go there. Like I said, I had not seen any supplementary questions. Let's make progress. We have a lot of work before us. Presentation of Government Bill. The Honorable Minister of Labor and Social Security.
Madam Speaker, I beg to present a bill entitled the National Pension Amendment Bill No. 1 of 2023. The object of the bill is to amend the National Pension Scheme Act 1996 so as to A, allow members to access a pre-retirement benefit, and B, matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing. Thank you.
Let the bill be read the first time.
The National Pension Scheme Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2023.
The bill stands referred to the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labor Matters. The committee is required to submit its report on the bill to the House by Wednesday, 22nd March 2023. Honorable members who wish to make submissions on the bill are free to do so within the program of work of the committee. Presentation of Government Bill. The Honorable Acting Minister of Health.
Madam Speaker, I beg to present a bill entitled Controlled Substances Bill, NAB 2 of 2023. The objects of the bill are to A, provide for the granting of license to deal in, manufacture, and
the bill stands referred to the Committee on Health, Community Development and Social Services. The committee is required to submit its report on the bill to the House by Wednesday, 22nd March 2023. Honorable members who wish to make submissions on the bill are free to do so within the program of. Let the bill be read the first time.
The Examinations Council